everyone, welcome to my Airbnb host video. I decided to do a quick video on how to be an awesome Airbnb host. I've been an Airbnb host since the very beginning. So Airbnb was founded, I believe, in 2009, I think. Anyway, I've been there since the beginning, and I was the only one in my area for quite some time. I became a super host last year, and I've had a lot of experience with different guests, and I thought I would kind of share a little bit of information on how to basically make Airbnb hosting super easy for you guys, fun, and of course successful for you and your guests. So the first thing is that I want to talk about is the listing. So it's really all in the listing. The listing is super important. The reason people choose Airbnb and not a hotel is really, I mean, sometimes it's a financial reason, but other times it's also because people want an experience. They want to be inside a place where somebody lives, and they want to get a sense of the culture of where you live, what people are doing there, and things like that. So the most important thing to do is to create a listing that's going to match up your guest with you. And so if any of you have ever been on couch surfing, it's kind of the same thing where you really want to bring the kind of guests that you want to receive, the kind of people that you'll understand and that you'll be good for, and they're going to be good in your home. So let's say you're a big partier. Say that. You're really quiet and you're always reading and you're in bed at 7 o'clock at night every night. Mention that as well. So really make sure that the guest has a sense of kind of what they're walking into. It's really important. You know, what kind of environment that they're walking into. So, you know, do you have like a bunch of animals and the place always looks like it's kind of chaotic? Some people like that. Are you kind of a clean freak and whatever, anything like that? They really have to have a sense of, you know, whose house or space that they're walking into. So I offer kind of a really alternative space for backpacker type people, and you know, I kind of mention that, and that's who I get, and it's amazing, and it's been really good so far. The next thing in your listing is the photos are super important. Now, they say that sort of top listings have anywhere from 10 to 15 photos. I have 10 photos that I took myself. If you are a superhost, though, superhosts can get free professional photos done. I'm moving, so I'm actually moving out of my space, so I'm not going to get the professional photos done, and I've decided to do my own, which I found were all right, were good, and still alluring enough. But make sure that it's clear. You know, take a picture of the room, perhaps the bathroom, any space or area that they're going to be looking at. It's really good to take a picture of as many things as possible so that they have a really good idea what the place looks like. Think about when you go to a hotel or a space, you want to see the pictures, you want to get a sense. If they have this, you know, your guests want that too. So really clear photos, you know, make sure the room is tidy. I've seen some pretty weird photos that were kind of scary, and, you know, don't do that. Make the photos really bright, and like on a clear day, and when the room is clean and looking the way it is when they're going to walk in. So photos, super important. How to be a wicked host. So basically know what your guests need or want. And I think that's the most difficult part, or the most challenging part, because, you know, not every guest is going to tell you everything. But you do have to have a sense of what it is that they're looking for. I actually have a lot of academics and people in conferences, and some of them are working. I get a lot of the same kind of people. They're doing projects. They're here to do a show or something like that. And so if I really get a sense that someone needs their space, I will completely stay out of their hair. If someone's willing to talk, and especially people that come by themselves and they're not working and they're traveling and they're just here to have a good time, I will definitely talk to guests. I can talk a whole lot, but I will walk away from that if I sense that a guest really isn't in the mood for socializing. So try to get a feel as to what it is that they're looking for. The last thing somebody wants is you chatting in their ear when really they just don't want to talk at all or socialize at all. So try to get a sense of what it is that they're looking for. Now, also another thing is that you can offer, and this is of course a suggestion, is a separate guide or a list of other things that your guests can do. So because in my listing or my travelers are generally more alternative indie budget kind of backpacker types, I made a separate zine for them with things that, they don't have to go looking for it. So the funky cafes that the kind of more local artsy people will go to, a list of a bunch of free things to do. I kind of steer them away a little bit from all the tourist things because my guests generally don't want to do the typical tourist things. So I offer them a list of that. Now, because if your guest is only in your area for a few days, sometimes they don't have time to do all the research to find all the little sort of nooks and crannies and places where you live. That takes time. So offering your guests maybe a list of certain things they might be interested in, apart from the tourist stuff, would be really good. Again, not necessary, but in my case, it's kind of really works, and people have had a very positive view on the zine. So I keep doing it. I've been doing it every year. Now, another thing too that's really important is make sure that you're available, or give your guests a sense that you or someone can be reached if anything is wrong, or if they have any questions. So, we all have lives and jobs and things like that we need to do. A lot of us do Airbnb kind of on the side. So make sure that you have a cell phone, an email, somewhere where they can reach you. And if for some reason you can't always be reached, maybe if they have an alternate phone number, then you can give them that. So try to be available. Give the sense of security and availability to your guests. That's another really good thing. Another thing is basically certain things that you can offer your guests, things that you can have on hand that will make things easier for them and make their travels a little less stressful, because sometimes people can lose their luggage. They can forget the simplest things. I don't know how many people that I've had that have forgotten their toothpaste. This is a really common one. It's like the most simple thing. But I like to offer everything in the room there, like hotel samples of different things that if they've forgotten anything. So I did make a little bit of a list for you guys, what it is that you can offer. Of course, it would depend on your accommodations. So a hair dryer, coffee or tea. I have a Keurig machine in my room. In the guest room, there's a Keurig machine with the K-cups. So I have coffee and tea in there for that. Water bottles, personalized ones if you want. I had at one time made some personalized Airbnb water bottle labels for the bottle, and I'll put a picture of that after the video. It's really cool. You can do it for free. You can design them. It's really fun. It's just a little extra thing. Hotel samples, as I mentioned, maybe a little basket of soaps and mouthwash and little things of toothpaste or something. It is really the simplest things that people forget. It really is. A calling card. I offer an e-calling card, which I purchased online for $5. And I think it gives like 300 minutes overseas or something like that. So it's in the room. And so if people arrive from overseas, they're not going to use their cell phone to call home and say they've made it. So this is kind of, it can be kind of handy and take the stress away from people. Maps and tourist guides. So beyond the zine, for example, I always offer area maps and guides for the area. And I also offer an entertainment.com coupon book. They're available anywhere in North America on entertainment.com. I think if you buy them at peak time, which is usually I think October or something like that, they're $25 or $30. But if you buy them in the springtime, they're fairly inexpensive. I bought mine for $15. I leave it in the room. People can take coupons out if they want. So towels, of course, and bed sheets, sleeping bag, whatever it is, again, depending on your accommodations. It's always good to provide a towel and sheets if you have them. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash. If the bathroom is separate and not shared, it's nice for the guests to have their own stuff. In my case, also, because I have the Keurig coffee machine in the room, I offer to-go cups, so they can take their coffee to go, make the coffee and run if they want. If they don't have time to sit and drink it, they can take it to go. A small fan or a heater or something like that, an umbrella in case it rains. Because I live on the coast and we have a lot of rain, and so for me that's something that I offer because here it can be really sunny. 5 minutes later it can be pouring rain, so I offer the forecast is not a good thing to go by where I live. It doesn't matter. It can change. So I offer an umbrella. Again, not necessary, but and extra tourist coupons. Sometimes I find them around town, like for free yoga classes or something like that. Anything that I'll find that the guests might be interested in, and also some local brochures and schedules for events that are going on at the time that your guest is arriving. So if there's a festival going on, maybe have that when your guest arrives, have that schedule or that information available to them. So that's kind of the basics of that. The next thing is if you're wanting to offer something for breakfast, this is some of you who want to offer continental breakfast. If you're offering a full cooked breakfast, now that's a whole different ball game. Be consistent with the times. Now, if you're offering a cooked breakfast, there's less flexibility, I think. But normally it's good to have a set time that the breakfast is being served. So let's say 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something like that. But try to be flexible for your guests in case they do need to eat a little earlier. For continental breakfast ideas, anything from oatmeal packets. I buy some quality bread from a French bakery. I buy the day-olds and I get them to slice it. Anything from sourdough, multigrain. There's all kinds of really awesome breads that I get there, and that's what I do. I offer homemade jams that I make. Again, not necessary, but the jams and spreads that I have are separate. I don't use them. I have a tray, and it's specifically the jams and spreads for guests, so I have that separate. So granola bars, yogurt, and in case someone is leaving really, really early in the morning for whatever reason, they don't have time to eat, you know that sleep is more important to them than sitting down to have breakfast. I make these grab and go packages, and normally I just put a granola bar, a piece of fruit, like a juice box or something like that in there, so when they get up, I can still offer them breakfast, they can grab it, they can go out the door and eat, and they're good to go. So that's another thing that I find kind of important. If you are offering something, maybe have a little bit of flexibility in it. I always say, too, that it's all in the details. Sometimes people don't realize how something very, very small, a very small gesture, a very small thing, can mean a whole lot to a guest. And like I said, they're visiting your area. I make a basket, which you can buy baskets really inexpensively at a dollar store, or you can get one thrift, and I kind of roll up the towel and I put various items in the basket. I'm going to put a picture of it at the end, and I put the basket on the bed. It's not something that costs me anything. It's just how I present the towel and the water bottle and the different things that are in there. That's just how I present it. It just looks cute in the basket, and people like the basket. I don't know, they like it. It's not too much extra effort for me. And I also buy these they're actually called pillow mints, and they're these kind of pillows, red and white mints, and they're inexpensive. I just buy a bag for a couple of dollars, and I literally put mints on the pillow. So we always joke about, people joke about that, having a mint on their pillow, but it doesn't cost a lot, and it's a nice breath freshener. So if I'll put that on the pillow. Not everybody takes them, but they're there, and I always feel like it's kind of all in the details. Little details like that. Now, let's say you live in a place where, I don't know, there's a candy manufacturer or something like that from your area, and they make their own candy or something like that. That would be kind of good to have, like, a local candy. Or instead of a bottle of water, maybe a local bottle of home brew or something like that. It just depends. Like, if you're offering a higher end accommodations, mine are budget accommodations, but let's say, you're renting your penthouse in New York City or something like that, and you have these guests that, have different needs. get them a bottle of local wine, something like that, something local. People love that. Anything. I make soap, so sometimes I give little pieces of soap to guests if I have some on hand, and that's like a little local surprise that they can have. And that's something you can do. So the last thing would be promoting yourself, and that's fairly easy with Airbnb. You can go onto your account and promote on Craigslist through your Airbnb account. It's really easy. A couple of clicks and you're done. And for areas where Craigslist isn't so popular, Kijiji is popular in my region. So what I do is I copy and paste my Airbnb listing, and I put it into a Kijiji ad. I add the pictures, I place it in the vacation rentals section, and I'm good to go. So you can also get 50 free Moo cards through Airbnb. Moo offers any Airbnb host 50 free promotional cards that you sort of design yourself, and it says Airbnb on it. It's really awesome. I actually put them in the room because I don't put them around locally, but I have them in the room so if people want to take one with them and then pass along the information to someone else when they get home, that's kind of worked for me. Now, I don't know if they've done it with cards, but I've had a couple of people show up here that were recommended by other guests. And so that was really, really nice. Some people actually changed their schedules so they could stay here. So I'm thinking, make it easy for your guests to promote you, and having those cards on hand are really, really great. And another really good way to promote yourself is be a really awesome super host, or be an awesome Airbnb host, because if you are, then that's self-promotion right there. I believe in word of mouth, and that's kind of how I want people to find me too, is through word of mouth. That is really one of the best way to promote yourself, is to be an awesome host. And I am a super host, so if you are looking for any information on how to become a super host, just give me send me an email or comment below, and I can help you out with that. And hope you have an awesome season, and happy Airbnb hosting. And again, any questions, I'd be happy to answer. So happy hosting.